Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hey, it's a great day. I'm Mark Imperial, and welcome to the program. Imagine for a moment you never had to worry about the stock market, and you knew you could live the retirement you always dreamed of living. We'll be discussing how you can accomplish these goals with our special guest today. Jordan Flowers is a Chicago area financial advisor who specializes in retirement income planning, maximizing Social Security, and using tax-efficient strategies to help his clients achieve their financial goals. Jordan shows clients how to gain financial freedom and gives them the peace of mind that their hard-earned money will be there when they need it. Jordan, welcome to the program.
Hey, Mark. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Great to have you. So, Jordan, tell me about your business and the types of clients that you serve.
Well, Mark, our firm believes it's not always what you make, it's what you get to keep. In the United States, tax rates are at a historical low rate. And with debt growing and the baby boomers transferring a tremendous amount of wealth in the next few years, I believe that complex tax issues will continue to be a problem for our clients that they need to solve for their retirement planning. Our firm combines comprehensive and tax-efficient financial planning to help our clients maximize their returns. I work mainly with clients that are over the age of 50, planning for retirement. I help them ensure that they have enough income in retirement by maximizing their Social Security and using their other assets in a financial plan to ensure they will not run out of money. There is so much market risk and volatility today. Plus, the prices of basic necessities keep increasing due to inflation. I really try to help my clients manage that risk while keeping up with inflation to ensure they can really get the most out of their retirement.
So, what do you see as the biggest problem from retirees achieving financial security?
Well, the biggest problem retirees have today is not having a plan. And some people don't even try to save. The best way to achieve your financial goals is to start. Sadly, people are people, and we're prone to procrastination, and this can affect their retirement. What I find is when people are working, married, and raising a family, they are so concerned about paying bills, paying their mortgage, car payments, tuition, that they don't even think about savings or even retirement. The key again is to start. Start paying yourself first, no matter how small it may be. If you develop that habit early of paying yourself, it'll have a positive effect on your financial security and eventually your retirement. It's never too late to start planning, but the earlier you start, the quicker you'll be able to accomplish financial freedom.
So tell me, what about income?
Well, income is a vital part of financial planning. Making sure each one of our clients has peace of mind in retirement is our goal. Developing an income plan for our clients is how we really accomplish this. We take into consideration Social Security, running Social Security reports to make sure our clients maximize the benefits of Social Security. Then we have our clients give us an estimated budget report, which shows how much expenses they have per month. Some people hate the word budget, but when it comes to financial planning, it actually may allow you to spend more. When you have a plan in place, you don't have to worry about spending if it fits into the plan. Many clients actually feel relieved after we run a plan for them, and we give them actually more money to spend.
Are your clients concerned about income?
Well, Mark, the good news is we're living longer, but the bad news is we're living longer. We live in an aging society where people are living 20, 30, even 40 years in retirement. Well, many of those people didn't plan for that, and running out of money is a real concern for them. Since we run reports with our clients based on many factors, Social Security, pensions, investments, expenses, and we even add inflation, our clients are confident their money will last them through their retirement. We do have a few clients, though, that want to spend every last dollar they have and bounce that check to the undertaker. But those are the exception. In some cases, we have clients that have too much income and they're forced to take out money from their IRAs for the required minimum distribution. This is a tremendous opportunity to find ways to use that money strategically to maybe fund a life insurance policy to give to the next generation and help offset those taxes due on their IRAs. Also, tax-free income is something people used to only dream about or think it's too good to be true. In our office, we can show you how to make this dream a reality. The era of retiring from a company with a pension are becoming harder to find. Nowadays, we see more defined contribution plans, which are commonly known as 401ks. The trend is clear. You can no longer rely on a company for your retirement income. You have to ensure your own retirement plan. More so than ever before, income planning and financial planning are becoming a must for those that want to ensure they have an enjoyable retirement.
What are some common fears people have about financial advisors in general?
Trust. I would think trust is a big one. I feel like today people have a tough time trusting people in the financial industry. And I feel like media has a lot to do with that, Mark.
Yeah.
With people like Bernie Madoff and movies like Wolf on Wall Street, it's not surprising a lot of people are afraid or at least nervous about working with anyone in the financial field. However, it would be pretty boring film to focus on the gentleman who ethically helps his clients plan for retirement and avoids tax pitfalls.
Yeah.
Let's face it, what we do is not that exhilarating. But all jokes aside, there is a lot of risk in choosing the right advisor, an advisor that will point out the pros and the cons of a product or strategy with you and will put your interest ahead of theirs. I think a lot of people are only willing to trust themselves these days, which can be pretty risky in itself. When emotions control investments, it can cause people to buy high out of excitement and sell low out of despair. The exact opposite of the secret of the market: buy low, sell high. Working with someone to help guide you through the ups and the downs of the market is important. Just make sure they're a fiduciary. Another big fear for most people is the uncertainty of not knowing when the next market crash is going to hit. For anyone close to retirement, they may not be able to recover if the market drops 40 or 50%. Mark, did you know in 2000 to the end of 2015, the average investor only made 2.3% a year?
No, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there's all that stress and loss of sleep to only keep up with inflation. So, yes, investors have a lot to be nervous about, but that fear can turn into motivation to take action, to protect their investments and peace of mind during retirement. I'd say most people are potentially at risk right now if they don't have a clear plan for capturing the ups of the market and being insulated from the downswings as well. This is also absolutely not a question of market timing, get in, get out kind of stuff. That's incredibly risky in a lot of levels. But there are easy, effective ways to protect what you have, what actually gives you more to grow. That's what I help people do, so they can step into retirement with confidence instead of stress and fear.
So, Jordan, you mentioned making sure that the person they work with is a fiduciary. You tell me a little bit more about that? That sounds important.
Fiduciary really means that you put the client's interest first. I like to relate it: if I can put my mom into it, then I can put my client into it. So if you really try to do the best for the client, that is what a fiduciary is. And a lot of people today, they say they're a fiduciary, but when it really comes down to it, they're not. Some actually brokers have a disclaimer in their statements that say we are not a fiduciary. So you really got to be careful who you choose to work with today.
Oh, I see. Okay. So what are some common mistakes people make when choosing their financial advisor?
Well, the biggest challenge is distinguishing the difference between an average broker or advisor compared to someone who really is a fiduciary. Many advisors out there are not fiduciaries. They are not legally bound to put the needs of their client ahead of their own. I have spoken with clients who have been told by the advisor, they put your interest first, then they refuse to put it in writing that they're a fiduciary. Many brokers charge high fees that eat away at your returns. I had a client that was working with a gentleman for a few years, and she thought she was paying 1.5% in fees. After I did a fee analysis for her, she was actually paying 3.22% in fees. She was in shock and no longer working with that broker. The investment was suitable for her, but not in her best interest. Another client I had came into my office with a variable annuity. I, Mark, have never found where a variable annuity was the right answer for a financial problem. as they generally have very high fees. Upon discovering this, though, we looked to move the funds, which have been considered a suitable investment, but this variable annuity had a high surrender charge. And as a fiduciary, I would not move the annuity. It made more sense for him to hold on to the product. Otherwise, he would have taken a big hit with surrender charges.
So, Jordan, what sets you apart from other advisors?
Well, Mark, we get married to our clients. Well, not literally. Since we do tax planning and tax preparation as well as financial planning, we see our clients many times throughout the year, and they become a part of our financial family. I can't stress enough how important it is to have financial planning and tax planning working together in tandem. I had a tax client who wasn't using us at the time for financial planning and incurred $16,000 of capital gains due to trading being done inside his account, even though he didn't receive any of that money. He was in shock when he did his taxes with us, and he missed out on some tax benefits due to his income being too high. This issue was caused because his broker wasn't worrying about his tax liability. Every year, we not only review our client's financial plan, as well as the tax implications, to ensure our clients are informed and prepared for April 15th.
Jordan, I understand that you're doing an event coming up. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually on September 11th, Mark, we're having a client appreciation event, but this one's going to be a little bit different than most. We're actually donating a certain amount to the American Cancer Society in support of cancer research. And the reason we're doing this, Mark, is because my dad's sister has cancer, and she's going through a rough time right now. And one of our dear clients, my sympathies to the Baltz family, they lost someone to cancer last week. And we really feel strongly about our clients. That's why we do these client appreciations. We feel like if we invest in our clients, they'll invest in us. And because of cancer is such a horrible disease, we thought it'd be good to, make a donation and have people be aware about it, because people lose lives every single day. And sometimes we get lost in the shuffle of life, and we don't think about the people that are suffering right now and the people we lost to horrible diseases such as cancer.
Right on. Do you happen to have any information on how people can learn more about that particular event?
Yeah, this event is only for our clients, so it's not open to the public. So you have to become a client first. So don't rush to become a client to attend that event. But we offer that up to our clients, and we do that once a year. We actually sometimes open up our house for these events. Because of our client base getting so big, we do it at a banquet hall. I like to view it as a wedding without a bride and groom. But we go all out. We would like to make sure our clients have a good time. We focus around dancing because even though I'm not the best dancer in the world, our clients love to dance. And last year, actually, our clients danced more than all the weddings I was at the last, 3-4 years. They were dancing up a storm, and it was really fun to watch. And if people want to see a view of that clip from last year's party, they can go to our website as well and see actually a little video of it. It was a really good time. Our clients really know how to party, let me say that.
That's terrific. So, Jordan, how can our listeners find out more?
Well, we have to start dating. And no, not literally. I'm already married, but to see if we're a good fit to do business with one another. You can call my office and ask to set up a complimentary consultation to talk about your goals and if we can help you achieve them. I also invite them to use us for taxes and see how we can possibly lower their tax liability. People are always welcome to visit my website, WFSTA.com. That's Whiskey Frank Sam, TomApple.com, and request any of the numerous reports we can run for you free of charge. There's never a better time to change your future than now.
Jordan, I appreciate your information and you taking the time to share with us today, and I wish you continued success for you and your clients.
I thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time this morning.
I'm Mark Imperial, and this is the program spotlighting noteworthy professionals, experts, and business owners from around the world and in your town. If you know a great business or professional that we should feature on the program, I'd like to hear from you. You could nominate them by emailing me at radio@markimperial.com. Once again, that's radio@markimperial.com. In this next segment, our home stretch, I've got a special treat for you. If you're a business owner or professional, or if you aspire to be one, For over 7 years, I've been interviewing leading experts and business celebrities and sharing their secrets to success with you. From my first show, Entrepreneur's Edge, to Game Changers Radio, to Mad Rocket Business, all the way to Remarkable Radio and this program today, in this home stretch, I'm bringing you a flashback to one of my most popular episodes, covering how to attract clients magnetically using only the power of words and without costly branding. So enjoy this very special edition home stretch, and here we go.
Now, get the edge. Here are Mark and Tom.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Mark Imperial, another power thinking hour here at Entrepreneur's Edge.
Mark, this is Tom Rebar, and it is time for all the capitalists and all of the entrepreneurs and the self-employed people and the professionals in private practice and all the sales and marketing pros to come out of the woodwork and put their feet up and join together and learn for an hour.
That's right. So welcome back, everybody. And we've got a terrific show. We're recapping a fantastic week that we had here at Entrepreneur's Edge. We just had our Entrepreneur's Edge live event last Wednesday. And boy, it was a hoot. The party was jumping. I'm telling you, they almost had to kick us out of that hotel.
They did, and there's nothing like talking about advertising and copywriting that gets people out of their chairs, because once you start talking about that, people realize that even if you thought you knew everything there was to know about it, you realize there's more to learn and more to still learn.
Yeah, the place was absolutely on fire. We had Conrad Hall and Ken Schreiber join us and speaking on copywriting and writing the words that sell your business. What better way to get to the bullet points of that than to recap what we talked about at Wednesday's event?
Go for it.
And you know what? In fact, if you missed it, you really missed a hugely valuable opportunity to boost your response. Because I'm talking about, we talked about headlines and postcard and copy that got 4 to 5 times the response of another control. So that's a 400 to 500% increase by just changing the words on the paper. How many folks don't think about that?
A whole bunch.
So we started out, one of our guest speakers, Ken Schreiber, he was talking about lead generation and the minute differences about generating leads with your copy as opposed to like using sales conversion. Now, one of the key points and takeaways he talked about, he started out, check this out. The first thing he said when he got up on the stage is he said, "Who here wants a surefire way to get new customers or prospects without any marketing cost?" And all the hands went up, right?
Mine went up.
Yeah.
I was the first one.
Now, guess what? He says that was the first lesson in lead generation. You are trying to identify exactly with the person what is it that they want. So if you have the right market, the right list, and then you give them that question, who wants this solution? And you're talking directly at a person, and they raise their hand and identify. That is it. That's as simple as that. And then you make them an offer that they just can't refuse.
Because all you want is to find out who those people are who are willing to raise their hand.
Yeah, and you could adapt that into any business type that you can. Now look at this. Another key is speaking directly at that target person. If you get a list, if you're doing a postcard mailing, and you know who that customer is you're looking for, you identify it and you speak directly at their problems. You have to identify, and we talked about this. I call it the hidden benefit, because you have to think about your customer and think of all the problems that they have in their lives, because what you are is you're a problem solver. That brings up another point. A lot of business owners, a lot of businesses out there, they make the mistake, and we had some folks talk about this in the room as well. I say, what is your ad about? What was the message you put in your marketing? And they said, well, a discount, a discount or percentage off. And the reality is that they're trying to sell their product directly. And we say that kind of hurts your response, because when you try to sell your product directly, the only people that are responding are those that are ready to buy like your widget or your thing right now.
At that immediate point in time.
So it's about transcending timing. So we're going to be back after this break and continue, because we've got a lot of nuggets that came out of that event on writing words that sell. BusinessEdgeRadio.com. Go to the website, get our free gift, and we'll be right back after this.
Stay with us.
Business owners and entrepreneurs, once again, Here's Mark and Tom.
Hey, welcome back to your Power Thinking Hour for entrepreneurs and business owners. It's Mark Imperial.
This is Tom Rebar. Hey, Mark, let's go back to that, the story you were telling right before the break about the person who was going for the jugular and trying to make the big sale right out of the gate. Let's try to make sure we bring the loop fully closed there. What do you do to get around that?
Well, let's see. As I mentioned, a lot of business owners, they think, they're not, they're in the mindset of I got to sell my thing. So they're focused on how can I sell my thing? Let me present my product or my service and let me give a discount or a coupon. That's like the knee-jerk reaction to what they're offering.
And then when people don't buy, right away they think, my price is still too high, so they get into this headset of, now I got a further discount.
Yeah, they're focusing on the wrong thing, and it's because they get a low response rate. But our answer to that, what we know from testing, is that the low response rate is because you're not transcending timing. You're making an offer for people that are ready to buy right that minute. But then when somebody is in the buying cycle, but they're not just quite ready to buy yet, and maybe a month down the road, they forgot all about you. You're only picking up the immediate buyers. You have to find a way to transcend the timing, and we do that with lead generation.
And it has nothing to do with price. So
that's right.
Get price out of your head that it's not that your price is too high.
That's often the last thing to even consider is the price. I mean, the example that I'm going to give you and for the listeners is we had a terrific home remodeling company in the audience and asked us how do we directly link what we're talking about here at the event to his type of business. I said, is there a business that feels like they don't know how to link this lead generation strategy to theirs? And then he raised his hand and he said, home remodeling. What do I do? And I said, what are you doing currently to get your business? He said, I did a mailing. What was the offer on the mailing? It was a discount of some sort. And we told him the same thing. You're selling a discount. You're only going to pick up the buyers ready to buy now. And then he said, well, what's the alternative? Well, the alternative is you want to find people that may not just be thinking about buying right now, but maybe they're already in their head. You know what? 6 months from now, a year from now, I know I'm going to have a move. How are you going to get those people to identify themselves so you can continue to stay in front of them? Well, we said, why don't you offer a report called, the 7 deadly traps and how to avoid them, how to save blah, blah, blah on your remodeling costs, how to get how to remodel your kitchen, your home or whatever, and save the maximum. 7 deadly traps, a report that is going to be useful to that prospect. That way, even if it's 6 months or a year from now that they're thinking about the move, they still want that free report. That little trick alone increases the response 4 or 5 times.
Easily. And you could tell that this fella, because I was sitting across the room from him, he had a big smile on his face as soon as you started to unveil that story, because you could tell right away he got it. Mm-hmm. And head kind of went back into that makes sense right away to him. So
that's right.
He was a very smart person.
Yeah. So, back to the list of what Ken Schreiber was speaking about. He's, another nugget was speak directly at him. Who is it that you're mailing to and what is their direct problem? The next point is the everyone's favorite radio station besides WIND is WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Exactly.
So that, literally the headline or the message that you put on your mailing pieces has to address directly at them because it has to pass that test. Conrad Hall mentioned this, the so what test. You read your headline, whatever you consider your headline, and run it through your own head and say, okay, I read something and so what? Is it going to make you say so what, or is it going to intrigue you to read further?
Well, in fact, he even suggests to do that for every one of your bullets. When you put the bullet there, just read it out loud and say, now, so what? What is that person going to answer if they read it and you say, so what, to give yourself a chance to substantiate that bullet in your head?
Yes, that's right.
Is it a worthy bullet?
Yep. And I have a litmus test actually for you. Let's first of all, let's wrap up with what Conrad was talking about before we even go into the litmus test on headlines. But, Conrad has a great description for copywriting. He said it's the art of using words to create action. Now think about that. The art of using words to create action. How many folks really think of their advertising in that way? The most of the time I see people doing an advertisement, it's like the name of their company or their logo. How does that create any action?
One of the One of the best testimonials for last night was I brought my assistant along to your summit. He is just beginning to think about the art of copywriting. And when we left, he said that was one of the best meetings he's ever been to. And he got more notes in a short period of time about how to write copy than he ever thought he would by coming along last night.
It's incredible. And, a lot of the stuff that, many of our pros in Mastermind, for example, we take it for granted because we've been so immersed in this kind of marketing, but it's eye-opening for many. For example, one of the big keys that was huge for everyone in the room was when Ken Schreiber described, and remember the headline, who else here wants to know how to acquire new customers and prospects without any acquisition cost? Right. Now, how do you do it without acquisition cost? Well, if you were at the summit, I don't have enough time in the next 4 minutes to tell you, but you can do, it was a brilliant strategy he had about liquidating your marketing costs. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be at Entrepreneur's Edge live events. And these are the kind of things that we talk about. So, this is probably the best time ever to give a plug for the next live event. Make sure you go to Business Edge Live or BusinessEdgeRadio.com, click on the live events tab, and you're going to find the next meeting in Madison, the next meeting in Green Bay, and the next meeting in Oak Brook. Hey, we've only got about a minute here, and I want to talk about one bullet. I have about 12 here.
Go ahead.
But let's talk about the headline, because what is the headline? The headline of your ad is the ad for your ad. Does that make sense? And what is the only job of the headline?
The only job of the headline is to shout it out and get somebody to be interested in taking the next step, which is to read what else is there.
Read the next line, absolutely. And it's the most valuable real estate on your ad or your postcard or your mailing. And what do most companies inadvertently waste in that space? What do they do in that space instead?
How many people put the name of their company or their logo up at the top of the ad or the top of their website, and then they wonder why nobody's reading it? It's because they never had a headline there.
Hey, in the wrap-up, I'm going to give my litmus test for great headlines for all the listeners. After the break, Tom Apicella from Think Spaces in Naperville, Illinois, will be joining us to give us his tips, tricks, and secrets for furnishing your office. We'll be right back. BusinessEdgeRadio.com.
We'll be here. Stay with us. BusinessEdgeRadio.com for all the events.
Hey, we're back. It's Mark Imperial.
And this is Tom Rebar. We are in the home stretch again, Mark. I can't believe another week has gone by so fast.
That's right. Hey, we're back here with Tom Apicella from Think Spaces in Naperville, Illinois. Hey, Tom, I wanted to ask you just recently joined our mastermind group here at Entrepreneur's Edge. Can you tell me what drew you to the group and what you're getting out of it so far?
Well, what drew me to the mastermind group is, I want to have other like-minded entrepreneurs and people that I can basically bounce ideas off of, talk about my business to help expand it. Because as a lot of people know, there's a lot of businesses in one business that you can extrapolate from. So just having that, and then it's also, for accountability when you come up with new strategies and ideas, there's some accountability because they're going to ask you, well, what did you do with what you said you were going to do with last month?
Yeah.
And, action is the way to make things happen in business.
That's terrific. And now for the folks listening, whether they're a property manager or a business owner looking to move or improve their spaces, how can they get a hold of you for your information?
You can go to thinkspaces.net and you can fill out one of our interior design contact forms, or there's a phone number on there that you can call, 630-324-4598.
Tom, it was terrific having you on the show. Thank you for coming out today.
Thanks for having me, guys. Enjoy the show.
Terrific. Thank you. Tom, we're on the home stretch now.
We are. I can't believe it.
Now, I promised a litmus test for people to test whether their headlines are any good.
So give them.
All right, here it is. Now, this is sort of like the classified test, if you think of like a classified ad. And what are the classified ads all about? It's usually a small, tiny little ad, right?
Very small.
With just, you don't have enough room to put anything but a blurb and a call to action, a CTA, like a phone number, right?
That's exactly right.
So what you do is you take whatever you think is your headline and then you neuter out everything else and just put your your phone number or whatever your response mechanism is under it. And if the two make sense and entice you to move forward, like let me give you an example. What do most people use as their headline that's wrong? And we talk about this a lot. The company name, right?
Name and maybe a logo.
So let's look at the litmus test. A to Z painting, phone number. Now, is that entice you to take any action?
So who'd call with A to Z painting and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
That's right. There's no words that cause action. Now, what if the headline, let me think just off of the top of my head here. Let's use an example for a bowling alley, okay? Something weird. Now, what if the headline said how to bowl a 300 every time and then a phone number? Now, that causes you a little bit more enticement to call that number.
Sure
So
would.
there's a difference between that's the litmus test. Take your headline and put just the headline and the phone number or response mechanism. And is that enough to make somebody take some action? That's the litmus test.
Great test.
So that
Now,
makes every word count.
Hopefully nobody just puts that in an ad, a headline and a phone number. It'd be nice to have a little more copy than that. But I understand what the litmus test is.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what we talked about. And it's about all the time we had to talk about today was headlines, but It's the most important piece. What else do we know about headlines? Headlines are the most important part of the ad. You remember at the event, I gave you 3 headlines that were tested. And I'll tell you what, let's do the test right now. One of the headlines got 5 times the response of the other 2. Was it headline A, I've never been able to get a good portrait of my child until now? Or B, finally a children's portrait worth more than the paper it's printed on? Or C, the best children's portrait at the right price guaranteed? We did this test. People raised their hand. The room was about split. But the answer is B. And again, we said, what's the reason why? Everyone gave reasons that they thought why B won. But the truth is, it doesn't matter. You just have to test.
And everybody's afraid to test.
And guess what? They didn't change any other part of the ad.
Customer.
Just the headline.
Hey, go out to businessedgeradio.com. We have Wayne Brightbath coming this next month in March up in Green Bay and Madison. He's going to talk about business use of LinkedIn. Unbelievable ideas. So come and see us.
See you later. Hey, it's Mark Imperial. I hope you enjoyed those highlights. Again, if you know a professional or business that we should feature on the show, you could nominate them by emailing me at radio@markimperial.com. One more time, that's radio@markimperial.com. Until next time, this is Mark Imperial. Make it a remarkable week. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.